A new east-west pipeline would move an additional 500,000 barrels of Alberta oil per day.
Alberta and Ontario's premiers team up on a new pipeline plan.
There we go.
Plus, promoting Alberta's whiskey industry to the world with a new official logo. And Alberta's gender wage gap, the largest in Canada, how the energy industry is partly responsible.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. Fresh off of last week's pipeline announcement with the Prime Minister, Premier Danielle Smith revealed a new pipeline proposal today, this time partnering with Ontario's Doug Ford to push for a cross-Canada connection dubbed the Northern Shield. As Kevin Green reports, Smith and Ford call it a nation-building project, but critics question whether it makes economic sense.
Alberta's Danielle Smith and Ontario's Doug Ford joined in Calgary to make the case for a cross-Canada pipeline that would take crude from Hardisty, Alberta, eastward across Canada to Sarnia, Ontario, to supply refineries and factories there.
By connecting Alberta's energy with Canadian refineries and European markets, we can create jobs, grow our economy, and make the most out of the world-class resources that we've been blessed with.
The pipeline would carry 500,000 barrels per day to start, with the potential to expand to 800,000.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's this. We need to take action now to protect Canadian jobs and Canadian families.
The big question is, who pays? Smith and Ford say they'd like a private sector proponent, but indicated they're prepared to go ahead without one.
We'll reach out to the private sector, but we won't hesitate to do what the government in Canada and Alberta's doing.
Meaning taxpayers could be on the hook for a large part of an undetermined but certainly multi-billion-dollar cost. Greenpeace Canada says it doesn't add up for the economy or the environment.
Why not cut out the middleman and just have Canadians send their tax dollars directly to ExxonMobil? I mean, there is no private proponent for this pipeline because there's no business case.
Calgarians we spoke to say a cross-Canada pipeline is a good way to spend tax dollars.
I think to build a line right across Canada will be beneficial to everyone.
Well, we need to do something to improve our economy, like if it helps, other people get jobs and boosts the economy, I'd be for it.
The Macdonald Laurier Institute argues while the economic case is fuzzy, Canada needs to think about energy supply, security, and reliability.
If you can displace some Russian product, for example, if you can replace some product from OPEC that goes through the Strait of Hormuz that right now Eastern Canada depends on, that would also be a win.
The Northern Shield proposal stems from an agreement between Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan to study new energy and trade infrastructure. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
A feasibility study is already underway and is expected to be complete by the end of this year. But this project has to cross 4 provinces and get the nod from several First Nations along the way. The man who spearheaded a petition to stop coal mining in Alberta, in the Alberta Rockies, says he's meeting with lawyers after the province decided not to send the issue to a referendum. Corb Lund says he questions whether Elections Alberta was fair in its process to validate petition signatures. The Water Not Coal petition got more than 207,000 signatures, but Elections Alberta tossed more than 35,000 out. Lund says that seems like a ridiculously large number given the thoroughness and dedication of volunteers. The country singer says the group has 30 days to put the issue before a judge for review. Elections Alberta says it is ready to begin verification of the Stay Free Alberta petition. It has 3 weeks to verify the petition. Elections Alberta will make sure people have only signed once with all the required information, including full name, address, and contact information. During the 21 days, a random sample of people who signed will be contacted to confirm their information. If the petition is successful, Elections Alberta will submit a copy of the proposal to the Justice Minister, who will refer the proposal to the Lieutenant Governor. Pro-Alberta independence campaigns registered as third-party advertisers are leading the way when it comes to fundraising for this fall's referendum. Hundreds of thousands of dollars has been raised so far in what is expected to be a long, drawn-out campaign of groups advocating on why Alberta should leave Canada or remain in Confederation. Here's Tyson Fedor.
As Calgarians dust off their Stampede boots, campaign organizers are throwing on the work boots ahead of October's 10-question referendum. Let Alberta Decide. It's the name of one group campaigning for Alberta independence, and fundraising is off to a flying start.
I would like to think it's because we're doing a better job and have maybe a better message, but all of the pro-independence groups are important, as are the ones that are for Stay Canada. I mean, this is what democracy is about.
In nearly 3 weeks, the group has raised close to $250,000. These numbers were reported to Elections Alberta last week and show another independence campaign has secured $82,000 in donations. But on the other side of the aisle is Stephen Carter and his Pro-Federation campaign, raising $26,000 as of last week.
The Separatists are raising about $150,000 a week. So, we're raising 10, they're raising 150. We have to be realistic. We're not going to keep up with them.
For Wilson, he says he is receiving donations from everyone and has had conversations on the campaign trail with those who wish to remain in Canada.
It's from blue collar, professional, moms, the younger generation, grandparents. It's really broad spectrum.
This is the one that keeps us in Canada, and this is the one that says no, we're not going to scapegoat immigrants, and we're going to live by our Canadian Constitution.
But the vast difference in fundraising is not a surprise to one political watcher.
The folks that are in favor of separatism are pretty passionately motivated in their support and willing to put their money where their hearts are on this.
Carter says his campaign is twofold: remain in Canada and convince people to vote down the 9 government questions on immigration and the Constitution.
I'm facing off against the separatists for one question. I'm facing off against our own Alberta government for the other 9 questions.
As for Wilson, he says he is up against pro-federation groups and the provincial government to have no rules on spending.
The frustrating thing for those like myself who believe Alberta would be better off independent is that these announcements all involve taxpayer money, committing further debt to our children and our grandchildren.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
There are 22 registered third-party advertisers for the referendum with Elections Alberta. Each group can raise a maximum of $607,000. Well, both Stampede and Summertime have more people reaching for steaks and burgers for the barbecue. Well, you're going to feel the pinch even more because prices have beefed up once again. As Alicia Fieldberg reports, a bit of relief could be on the way.
Ribs, brisket, and burgers are popular at Calgary Stampede, but can come with a hefty price tag. And not just because it's from the Midway, but also due to the rising cost of the main ingredient.
This was $55, so, everything costs more on the grounds, but it's worth it for once a year at Stampede. Great experience. Gotta love Alberta beef.
Beef prices continue to soar. In May, they were up more than 2% from the previous month. That's 13% higher than last year at this time, and 63% higher than 5 years ago, according to Statistics Canada. Despite the beefy cost, Canadians aren't cutting it off the menu.
Last year, the Canadians consumed slightly more beef than they had in the year before, even though prices were up. We're eating more ground beef and fewer strip loins.
The high prices come from that increased demand while supply has shrunk. Many ranchers chose not to keep as many cattle during recent drought years, which made feed expensive on top of other rising costs.
We've experienced actually on my operation 4 years of drought. People around that actually for the last 3 years, each year they've knocked in. Some of them, from 1,000 cows knocked off 200 cows. In the following year, still drought, so another 200 cows went out of production.
That's now starting to turn around, with Canadian herds growing for the first time in years. But it's a slow process and will take a while to feel the impact.
We're a little ways out from sustained price relief at the grocery store, but definitely we are moving in the right direction for consumers.
Until then, everyone has to fork out a bit more for their beef.
Raise of about 10% in costs, so of course prices have to follow. There's no way that anybody's going to make no money doing what we do, right? Everybody wants the Alberta beef. Everybody wants to keep eating good quality food.
The number of cattle in Canada increased by about 2.5% compared to last year. That's about 270,000 animals. But it will take time for more calves to be born and make it to market. Experts do expect that beef prices will start coming down slightly, possibly by the end of this year. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
There's a new logo for whiskey products made in Alberta. The logo was unveiled today. It features grains, water, and landscapes within the Alberta Shield. To be an Alberta whiskey, the beverage has to be made with 100% Alberta water and a defined proportion of grains sourced from local farms. The distillery industry says this is a long time in the making and will make a big difference.
Whiskey is a global thing, and we want to start saying, you know what we're doing in Alberta is the best in the world. We make it, I'm confident, 100% confident, we'll continue making the best in the world, and just more and more people will know about it.
The logo was selected in collaboration with industry partners. The Whiskey Act, which is behind this new labeling, was also the first provincial bill to be crafted with the assistance of artificial intelligence. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. Warmer temperatures on the way, so stay hydrated, wear that sunscreen, especially if you're heading down to the Stampede grounds.
Sunglasses, hat, all the tricks. Yeah, take some breaks, go into the BMO Center to get out of the sun for a bit. Yeah, because the high for tomorrow is expected to be 27 degrees, which is hot in and of itself. When you add all the people in the pavement at Stampede, like the picture here, it will feel a lot hotter. So still enjoyable at Stampede, but of course you have to prepare for some additional heat tomorrow. So a lot of sunshine, stable tomorrow, starting off the day at 8 a.m. at 14 degrees and then at least 27 as our high for the afternoon. It's when we get into Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we get back into the chance of the isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorm activity. We'll talk more about that just ahead.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Imagine saving a life by performing CPR on someone and then getting billed $250. Surprise? So was one Edmonton doctor. Next, why he was charged and how the province is now getting involved.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
An Edmonton doctor who received an ambulance bill after performing CPR at a basketball game won't have to pay the fee.
So today I got a surprise $250 bill from Alberta Health Services for saving someone's life.
Last month, Ian Sutanto was playing basketball when one of the other players collapsed. He and another player spent about 15 minutes performing CPR. The man was starting to come to when emergency crews arrived. Sutanto says the adrenaline from playing basketball and then performing life-saving measures left him feeling lightheaded. He was offered an ambulance but chose to be assessed on scene.
You know, he did check me out, so I understand, you know, I guess you put that through the system, and I guess that generates a bill, but was not something that, you know, crossed my mind. So it was just kind of a surprise.
Sutanto is worried others will see the cost as a barrier and won't call for an ambulance in an emergency. This afternoon, the province canceled his bill and says it's reviewing the policy. A big step forward in advancing cancer clinical trials in our province. The Alberta Cancer Foundation is investing $35 million to support operations and expand infrastructure at flagship research hubs across the province. It includes support for Calgary's Riddell Centre for Cancer Immunotherapy and Owerco Family Centre for Clinical Trials. The Cancer Foundation says clinical trials are critical in the fight against cancer since they often result in new and better treatments.
What's really important about trials is not only do they help patients today, and this would be patients who maybe traditional treatment options might have failed, or the standard of care, as they refer to it, might have failed and might not work. Clinical trials give that patient hope for that this treatment might work, might help them. But they're also how we get the better treatments, and again, maybe some cures of tomorrow.
Years, the province has gone from having one of the lowest cancer survival rates in Canada to one of the highest. 64 cents on the dollar. No, that's not the loonie dipping. That's what women in our province make versus men annually, according to a report by the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. It's the widest wage gap in the country. There are reasons behind the disparity, but as Tyler Barrow explains, there's also room for improvement.
Alberta has the widest gender pay gap in the country. Women in the province earn 64 cents for every dollar a man makes annually, according to a report by the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. The national average, 72 cents. The report also looks at weekly earnings. Female workers in Alberta make 71 cents for every dollar a man makes. Nationally, it's 80 cents. The think tank points to a multitude of factors.
The government has, taken, frozen minimum wage for a long time in Alberta. Again, that tends to impact low-wage workers the most, disproportionately female.
Scott also highlights provincial cutbacks in areas where women tend to work, like education and healthcare. Meanwhile, women who will soon enter the workforce want to make sure they get their fair share.
It's disheartening, it is, because as a woman personally, I'm working just as hard as men.
A wage gap really just devalues their sacrifices, and it kind of demotivates in a way.
Really disheartening for me to hear, because I feel that with that statistic, my chances of success are lower than my male counterpart.
At least for Hunt, who's a petroleum engineering student, her eventual salary should be more competitive. The wage gap in Alberta is partly driven by the male-dominated oil and gas sector.
Many men are in those positions, and so many of those positions are high paying, really does skew the averages quite a bit.
Cook does point to the need for the province to have a more thorough system to address pay inequities. Others call for more transparency and policy change.
There needs to be processes in place by which people can analyze the wage differences at a closer level.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The UCP government tells CTV News it continues to work on policies that help all workers, and it's reviewing developments in other provinces to guide its approach. Well, Danielle Smith is up next with her Skywatch forecast. There are definitely warmer temperatures on the way, and when we could see some active weather later this week as well. Details next.
Well, today was pretty perfect in the city. Temperatures right where they should be, not too hot, not too cold, lots of sunshine, and even a breeze at times, gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Similar tomorrow, but a lot more heat for tomorrow. All right, today's highs, 25 was the high in Banff, 21 in Calgary, and in those lower 20s right through Drumheller, Brooks, Medicine Hat into Milk River. So temperatures again where they should be for this time of year, but we're going to have a lot more heat build into southern Alberta tomorrow, and many communities will make it into the 30s. The winds were relatively calm for most areas, not even registering in Brooks and in Medicine Hat, as you can see, but Calgary was one of the gustier spots, 46 kilometers per hour at times, and we're looking at close to that for tomorrow as well. And all communities in the south end could get gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour tomorrow. All right, so high pressure in place. That's why we had such a nice stable day today. This is a stateside system though, and that's going to track into the far south, specifically for tomorrow. It may push a couple clouds into Calgary. We may see a little bit of that, but it's mainly impacting the far south for tomorrow. And I'll show you that as we play through the day. So a couple clouds could creep into Calgary from this, but overall it should be mainly sunny in the city. But in the far south, mainly cloudy, and closer to that Saskatchewan borders where we're most likely to see any sort of isolated shower. So basically that southeast corner for tomorrow later in the day. Wednesday is when things could get a little unstable once again. So we'll have some heat. If we get some thunderstorm activity and that instability, some of these cells could get to the more severe criteria. Likely not for Calgary, but as it tracks off and gains some steam to the east. So the morning's quiet on Wednesday, but by the afternoon down the QE2, we'll see the thunderstorms track on in. Calgary has the potential of seeing showers and thunderstorm activity. And then it gets, as you can see, closer to the Saskatchewan border, more intense, especially in that southeast corner once again. Thursday, a similar idea. All right, so for Calgary specifically tomorrow, 27 degrees is a high. If you're headed to Stampede, keep in mind that 27 becomes a lot hotter with all the people and the pavement. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, UV index high, slap on the sunscreen. And then later in the afternoon on Wednesday and Thursday, we have the potential of showers, isolated, or even some thunderstorm activity. For Wednesday through Saturday, temperatures, daytime highs will be in those mid-20s, and things stabilize for Friday and into the weekend.
Danielle, thank you so much. Some Albertans woke up to a surprise on their doorbell cameras. A bright fireball streaks through the night sky, and it's all the buzz among scientists and stargazers.
There's a horn and they're off. Stoves go in. Outriders mount up. Oh, Ray Cravo skins one and gets away with another one. And Ray Cravo gets out there with Chance Vegan leading the pack along the rail.
Night 4 at the Rangeland Derby. Not only did heat number 9 bring us the fastest time, but these 3 drivers are battling it out for the top spots on the aggregate. Ray Crotto Jr. falls back into 3rd. Chance Vegan and Jamie Laboucaine are neck and neck. But it would be Laboucaine who gets the win and $6,500 cash with an impressive time of 110.74. The pancake breakfast at Cross Iron Mills was serving up something a little different this year. Organizers created a build-your-own pancake bar along with traditional syrup. They were offering fresh fruits, sprinkles, even M&M toppings. About 7,000 people waited in line for the free breakfast. Tomorrow, the Stampede Caravan Breakfast takes place at Market Mall and Coventry Hills Center. Food will be served between 9 and 11 a.m. The night sky lit up in the Edmonton area on Friday with a rare combination, the northern lights and a fireball. That fireball was spotted by Aurora watchers and recorded by doorbell cameras across Alberta. CTV's Noah Rashog has more.
Wow! Heather Hodvestad stepped outside to put new batteries in her doorbell camera Friday evening. Turns out she changed them just in time. Hodvestad and her partner witnessed this fireball as it streaked towards the northwest.
It's just, one of those rare occurrences. Some people never see that stuff in their whole lifetime. So just to see that here, just randomly walking out at that particular time, I guess the stars aligned. The fireball was spotted across the province. Down in Airdrie, Aurora chaser Chris Ratzlaff says that he was watching the northern lights.
And then as I was panning across, I noticed this fireball streaking into my the view of my camera, and I just redirected from the aurora and started following the fireball as it went down.
At the TELUS World of Science, head astronomer Frank Florian has been chasing fireballs for most of his career.
We didn't know this one was coming. It was probably about the size, of maybe a desk, maybe smaller. It doesn't have to be very large for it to actually create a spectacle like this one did.
He believes it was a meteor or a meteorite similar to this one that went down near Lloydminster. Doorbell cameras like Hodvestad's help them triangulate their position.
We use doorbell cameras and other types of cameras that security cameras that people had set up outside to try to figure out where this thing could have come down. And they're very useful tools for the astronomers and the geologists that are really looking for these particular rocks, hoping to pick one up.
It's not yet confirmed what this fireball was or if it made contact with the ground. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
Whoa, indeed. All right, that's it for us. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.